Man, what's going on with y'all, man? A lot to talk about today. A few different topics, man. A few different things that came up this week that rubbed me the wrong way, and I gotta talk about it. Hope everybody having a blessed one, man. Hope everyone had a good week. If you didn't have a good week, man, I pray that your week get better. You know what I'm saying? And all things are well. So I've been watching a lot of Rob Parker and and Broussard, and just been kind of questioning a lot of their opinions and takes on different situations. And one of the things that I really was disappointed in is, as black men, and I know that topic or saying that has become somewhat cliche, but as black men, the things that we allow to be pushed about other black men, and I think for those two being older, I think it kind of bothers me when I see or hear them say certain things. And I think also too, on the outside looking in, and I think maybe this might be part of it. When you're a part of the machine and you're being used by the machine, maybe it's not so noticeable. But like, from my perspective, it seems like anything to tear down our people. Anything to tear down our people. So the All-Star game is going to be in Utah, right? And Karl Malone, who's not very, he's not in the public eye. He's not one of those guys that likes to use his name and be public a lot. I think he's more of like a forum type of guy. You know what I'm saying? Played at Louisiana Tech, and he's kind of to himself. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna say that. But he hasn't been in the public eye for a while. And when he was playing in the NBA, he didn't really seem like he really liked to be in the public eye. So he's gonna be a judge during All-Star weekend, judging the dunk contest, which is cool. I thought that was cool. And Rob Parker, on their show, and Chris Broussard wasn't present during this show, but they were talking about the fact that Karl Malone was going to be, making an appearance to judge the All-Star game. And they could have left it at that. But of course, in true fashion, I'm trying not to be disrespectful, but in true fashion, like the machine always have them do, they had to bring up something negative, right? And to not be like them, I'm not going to bring up the history or the negativity that they brought up and exposed about Karl Malone, because honestly, man, we haven't heard anything about Karl Malone in years, maybe 10 plus years. He hasn't been in the news. I think he made a slight appearance, you know what I'm saying, during the Last Dance or whatever, but that was mainly Michael's thing. But we haven't heard anything about Karl Malone. The discussion that they brought up, you know what I'm saying, was never, to my knowledge, talked about like that. And I remember it being a topic years ago, like years and years ago, about him having 2 kids that actually ended up playing professional sports. And it's just sad that they wanted to bring that conversation back to the surface. And it sucks, man, that I make these videos to be entertaining, man, and to, I want to grow my audience on YouTube, but not at the detriment of my people, you know what I'm saying? And I think it's sad that people will do anything for money, do anything for likes, anything for views, But man, if y'all want to find out more about the whole Karl Malone thing and why people saying that he shouldn't get the opportunity to go to the All-Star game, this and that and the third, man, y'all can go look that up. Go look up the Rob Parker interview. They discussed the topic, man. I just thought it was sad that we tearing down our own people. And it continues. Kyrie. Nothing positive ever comes out about Kyrie. The man moved to Dallas, playing for the Mavericks. He's played 3 or 4 games, and he's played great. They haven't won every game. They still trying to gel as a team, but he's played great. He was playing great before he left the Nets. Nothing ever positive is ever discussed about Kyrie. Once again, the machine. So, I'm listening to Rob Parker and Broussard this morning. I don't know when they did this interview. I don't know if it was yesterday. Well, not interview. I don't know when they discussed this topic, but I listened to it today. They could have discussed it yesterday or whatever. I didn't really look at the date, but it was recent. They were discussing KD's departure from the Nets, right? And they had to lump Kyrie into that. They even went back and discussed James Harden's departure from the Nets to lump Kyrie into that, right? The conversation kind of went like this. Basically, it's all Kyrie's fault that the Nets team had to break up. Because Kyrie, they couldn't rely on Kyrie. If I had to summarize the conversation, right? Like Kyrie didn't, wasn't really dealing, like the man wasn't dealing with stuff as a Brooklyn Net. Like he just wasn't playing because he didn't want to play. The man didn't play because he didn't want to get the vaccine. Right? That's a reason to stand your ground and not play. The man having issues with the owner. Of course that relationship was going to sever at some point. You know what I'm saying? But anything to diminish what Kyrie's doing. So then they bring up the topic of him missing, I want to say it was his 5th game. His 5th game with the Mavericks, right? Now, he's played every game that he's been a Maverick. The man missed 1 game and they already talking about it, right? So he misses his 5th game, and basically the reason for him missing games was back spasms. Okay? So they on that Rob Parker and Chris Broussard on there talking about he didn't like the fact that Kyrie missed his 5th game because the Mavericks should be trying to jail him and Luka. Luka should be trying to jail so that they can make a push and possibly, get to the Western Conference Finals and possibly an NBA championship. He didn't like the fact that Kyrie set out, but you never spoke out about, not that I'm aware of, right? About King James breaking Kareem's record, right? Now, that's who can't afford to sit out. They can't afford to have LeBron sit out a game, right? Breaks Kareem's record, scores 38 points. Never seen him labor during the game. I never seen him labor. I never noticed that he was struggling with his foot or ankle, whatever is going on with him, because even doing this, the Rob Parker interview, the podcast that they do, when they talked about it, they wasn't sure if it was his ankle or his foot, right? So whatever's going on with LeBron, he didn't play 2 games. You know what I'm saying? And granted, I think they won, and maybe it was 3 games, but I think they won a game. You know, so it didn't really affect their standing, I guess. But it could have. You know? And it actually did, because they did lose a game or 2, right? Because LeBron didn't play. So, we make a big deal about Kyrie, who played the majority of his games with the Mavericks. Sits out 1 game with back spasm, right? LeBron breaks Kareem's record, becomes the all-time leading scorer. And then he sits out 2 games, right? Nobody don't say a word. Nobody don't say they don't like it. Nobody's talking about the Lakers' standings and where they are in the standings and how important it is for their team to gel together with all of the new pieces that they have, which are some nice additions, by the way. I like this Lakers team. You know what I'm saying? I like this Lakers team. I think if they can stay healthy, they can really make some noise. But nobody talked about that. You know? But Kyrie, on the other hand, we don't like the fact that Kyrie set out, man. And I think it's just garbage, bro. It's garbage that they do that, and the agenda seems to be against Kyrie, man. I don't like that. You know? Like, if you gonna be like that, be the same across the board. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the man got back spasms, he got back spasms. Like, come on now. They have the same energy. That's all I'm saying. And speaking of LeBron, Rob G had some interesting comments about LeBron being booed at the Super Bowl. And basically went in on LeBron. I'm surprised Rob G didn't lose his job. That's how much he went in on LeBron. They discussed LeBron getting booed during the Super Bowl, you know, and correlated it to the fact that LeBron is still not regarded as the consensus GOAT. Like, people don't like LeBron, right? And Rob G echoed a lot of the same sentiments that I think a lot of us do when it comes to LeBron, and it really has a lot to do with his antics and his lack of humbleness, right? Like, he's so insecure about his place in history that he allows it to make him do things that makes him look corny. So, like, during the game, they booing him. He gestures to put a crown on his head. You know what I'm saying? He does like the little crown gesture, like crown me. You know what I'm saying? And fans didn't like that. You know, people didn't take that kindly. You know, and it was interesting to hear Rob G's take on this, because he had a lot to say. Man. And I think I'm going to actually play some of that and react to it.
I got a nickname. Okay, King James, I get it. The Bible, King James Version. Right? I get that. But to act like you put a crown on and that you're the king, I think the fans spoke volumes. Am I off base, Rob G? Push back. You're the Laker fan.
Look, as much as I want to push back, you're spot on. Look, there's something about LeBron James. Whether even if you take out the basketball part of it, right? Like right. The stats and at some point the NBA record books is going to be LeBron James presents the NBA. Like, between him and Wilt Chamberlain, they are going to have every record there is to talk about, right? But there's something about him, and it's why he's never going to be regarded as the greatest of all time, that people just don't like, right? Kobe Bryant, on his way out the door, rest in peace, he was in Boston getting standing applause. He was in Sacramento getting MVP shots. LeBron James is only loved by LeBron James fans.
I agree with you 100%. And you know what? I'll give you another one. Derek Jeter's last trip into Fenway Park.
Exactly.
You remember that?
Yep.
They hate the Yankees in Boston. They have respect for Jeter's career.
Right. And there's everybody has a different reason for hating LeBron. And I get it because, in the media and what you see on TV, you hear on radio outside of Rob Parker, it's LeBron's great. Look at what he's doing. We should appreciate him. He deserves more help than what he's getting, blah, 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 blah. But if you just walk around the streets in your favorite city, go to the local barbershop, people have more negative things to say about LeBron than they do positive. And it's part of it's because he interjects himself in every big storyline, no matter whether it's politics, social, sports, what have you. It's because he homie hops from team to team to try to stack the deck in his favor to win a championship. When the way we all came up growing up, it was you have your city, I have my city, let's see who really the big dog is. And LeBron's not like that. You have another reason being, I've mentioned it before, all these people on TV that make us want to believe, and on radio, that he's owed something. That his talent is so immense that if he's not in a position to win a championship every year, that it's somebody else's fault, not his. And all these things start to stack up. You brought up putting the crown on your head in the middle of a press box, which is corny, right?
Right, it just is.
But
what crown?
Rob, he made it even worse earlier today on Instagram. I don't even know if you saw this. So we're now a week out from him breaking the all-time scoring record, which is a great accomplishment. And the Lakers have lost 2 of their last 3 games. I think they're 6 games under 500. They may miss the play-in altogether because they dug themselves such a hole. And is LeBron talking about, hey, I can't wait to get back with my team. I missed out a couple of games. My ankle's been hurt, but we're going to finish strong. No, it's, man, I got a picture of me shooting that fall-away jumper. This still has not hit me yet. So surreal. Wow, wow, wow to all my fans who captured that moment inside Crypto Arena that night. You're amazing. Thank you. Thank you to the United States and the world. You're amazing. The journey continues. Hashtag the kid from Akron. Hashtag James. Like, bro, where is the self-awareness? He doesn't have any. LeBron James cares about LeBron James, and that's fine, but that's why he's never going to be loved or as beloved or treated the same way the other greatest of all time guys are.
So now that you've heard his comments, right? I have to say, where is the lie? He didn't lie, man. He didn't lie. LeBron's career has been filled with antics, team swaps, and moves, narratives that people don't wholeheartedly agree with, self-proclaimedness. People just don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, people don't like the route that he took. I should say that. People don't like the route that he took. But man, Rob G had a lot to say, and I don't see the lie. Like, I'm struggling to see the lie in his comments. I think for me personally, it's kind of a bittersweet situation. I don't like talking negatively about LeBron, and I try to keep my comments about sports. You know what I'm saying? Because it's important to separate the two. Me being a black man in this world, I understand how important it is and how difficult it is to be successful. So for that reason, I try to keep my comments about sports. And if we talking about just sports, about what I saw on the basketball court, I think it's hard to, and I'm starting to, and I know this is the boring take, but I feel like Jordan is going to always be the consensus GOAT because he did it first. He did it first. You know what I'm saying? Like, Kobe had a miraculous amazing career, and so has LeBron. But man, Jordan came and he did it first, man. He's like Michael Jackson, right? Like, obviously, dancers are better today. Artists, you know what I'm saying? They've had the opportunity to, you know, witness the Michaels and the Princesses and all of these other great artists, and based on their observation, they were kind of able to do it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes sense that things get better with time. Technology is better, right? So, like many believe Chris Brown is a better dancer than Michael. Like, variety, dynamic, you know, he's more dynamic, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to dancing, he can do a lot of different things and cross genres of dancing and shit, you know what I'm saying? So there was a growing conversation, you know, for Chris Brown, you know, being better than Michael. That was a topic for a very brief second. But because Michael was so iconic, dog, nobody will ever be able to eclipse that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Michael was the man. And you gotta put Michael Jordan in that type of conversation, in that breath, in that air, right? With Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan. They was in the video together. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, it's like they like the elder gods, dog. You know, like, you got a lot of different gods, you know, but they like the elder gods. You know, they like sitting on a throne of sports and music. You know what I'm saying? And for Michael Jordan to still be present, because you got to know that these legends grow with their departure. You know, when they leave this earth, man, the legends grow even greater. You know what I'm saying? But they're like the elder gods, man. You know, so I mean, it's hard to eclipse what they did, man. Just the impact that they had on the world, bro. You know, it's nothing like it. You know, I was watching a Kobe interview, and he kind of hinted at the fact that, man, you can't compare. You know, this was during his 81-point game, and they were interviewing him after the game. You know, he was doing a press conference, and he was just saying how, like, man, he wished that people would stop comparing him to Michael Jordan and just enjoy what he's doing. You know? And he was just saying how, you know, man, the players today, in that time, this is in, what, 2006? And he was just saying how 2005 to 05, 06 season, one of those seasons. But he was just saying how, like, man, you can't compare us to Magic and Michael, man. They're like, you know, basically, like, man, you know, that they're not fair comparisons. You know, like, man, the things that they had to do and what they endured during the time that they played, man, you know what I'm saying? It's just different, you know. So I mean, he kind of hinted at that, like, man, the people like elder gods, dog. You know, like, we gods, but, like, man, they the, you know, upper echelon. Now, we may not feel like that as, you know, observers of the sport. You know, we may look at LeBron and say, man, he way better than Magic, right? Like, we can't imagine a basketball game where LeBron wouldn't outshine Magic Johnson, you know? But, man, to those guys, man, they the ghosts of this stuff, you know, and it's just fun to talk about. But, man, let me know what you guys think about, you know, these different topics, man, and how you guys feel about what I had to say. Let's have the conversation down in the comment section. If you are new to the channel, man, please subscribe to the channel, man. Please support the channel. You know, if you like what I have to say, if you like the content, man, leave a like, you know, and turn that notification bell on, man, so y'all be notified whenever I upload another video. Joe Squad, I'm headed to work, and I'm out.